Man United faced Brentford away. Brentford are 17th in the table. While we've had a pretty ordinary start to the season, 7 points from 5 games, the media has been, well, not friendly to us. They've painted all of this in a terribly negative manner. We statistically had the toughest start to the season by facing the top 3 teams from last year's top 5 in our first 5 games. Instead, we have the same amount of points for Man City. But the other angle is that we have the same amount of points as Leeds United. The 3 points away from the top 4, but we're also 3 points away from the relegation zone. So right now, it is too early in the season to call it a good or a bad season. One consistent problem we've had with our team selection is Bruno Fernandes in the midfield. It has been very disputing and a very hot topic. Alamarim seems to play Bruno in the midfield every single game and is convinced that that is the right thing to do. Most of our fan base thinks that Mbeumo or even Casemiro Nogate should be in the midfield and Bruno should play higher up. While Cunha and Mount were injured, Bruno did not play in the number 10, which shows that Amarim is very stubborn and will only play Bruno in the midfield. We go away to a Brentford team that hasn't been in the best of the form. They've not scored many goals, so the only likely way they look to score against us is by exploiting our main weakness, which is set pieces. We've been horrible against set pieces. While we scored 2 goals, one against Fulham, we've also conceded quite a few. Our first goal conceded was against Arsenal, where Bayern did not step up or show authority in his box to stop a cross from Arsenal. And even against Chelsea, the one goal we conceded was from a cross into the box. Actually, it was a corner. And that has been our biggest weakness for more than 2 seasons. Brentford will look to exploit that. And with Brentford away being a slightly easier game than the Chelsea and Man City game, a lot of fans would like to see Sen Lamens start ahead of Altay Bayındır. Bayındır last game had not much to do, but overall, from the start of the season, Bayındır has not been good. While he kept Onana out of the squad and, well, Onana is not here anymore, Bayındır has not been great either. He's been statistically one of the worst goalkeepers in Europe. He has a terrible save percentage. And while a lot of fans understand, or we understand, that Sen Lamens cannot be thrown into the fire. He's a young goalkeeper and he should be protected. His confidence must be protected. We think that Brentford away is quite an easy game compared to the other games we faced. Maybe easier than the Sunderland at home because, well, Sunderland have been at good form. They're ahead of us in the table and they look like a dangerous team. They're very tough to break down and they're amazing at the counter-attack. And that is something that might, well, not be good for us when we face them at Old Trafford because every shot counts and that will lead to more pressure on Sen Lamens. Hence, this must be the game where Benjamin Sesko can get his first goal. Mbeumo could make a mark because he's returning back to his old club to face his old club, and Sen Lamens could get his debut and, well, hopefully shine.
Brentford as a team this season have been a bit shaky, which granted compared to last season they have lost a few of their key players, especially Mbeumo, who will be playing against Brentford for the first time. They've just managed 1 win in their past 5 games and don't look too convincing as a team. They've conceded 10 goals in the league, which tells us that their defense isn't at its best right now. Their last game against Fulham especially looked quite even if you looked at the stats of the game, but Fulham still managed to win by a 2-goal cushion, and we might be able to take some pointers from that game to help us. Despite Brentford's usual formation featuring a back 5 of Lewis Potter, Pinnock, Collins, Vandenberg and Coyote with Kelleher in goal, I mean, on paper that sounds like a good enough defense to not concede every single game. But they have, so it doesn't really seem as what it seems on paper, does it? Their midfield will likely include Damsgaard, Henderson and Yarmolyuk. And up front, it will be Schade and Thiago. Thiago especially has been trying to fill in Mbeumo's gap in the team and definitely poses some threat to Man United. He's strong, physical and has a goal in him if he's given a chance. Our head-to-head record against Brentford isn't as good as we'd like it to be in recent years, and one thing we've learned is that Brentford usually don't make it easy to score against. And somehow, they always manage to sneak in a goal. Perhaps they will look to score early and sit back for the rest of the game, which will definitely be a task for United. All in all, it should be a win for United away, but given recent form, anything could happen.